30 seconds away from the news. You guys can call us. We'd love to hear from you. 877-77-BOBBY. You can also watch us live on our Facebook page right now. 877-77-BOBBY. That's B-O-B-B-Y. Let's go with the news.
Bobby's Big
Stories.
Bad timing on reading this story. The question is sugar okay for your dogs? The answer is no. So even this morning, it was a long night last night. More details later. It was a great night, but then just after I got home, it was a long night. And this morning, after a couple hours sleep, I was trying to open the cereal. That's my ritual in the morning, eating cereal. Love it. And I'm pulling the bag, and some of these bags are way too hard to open. It's like,
oh, yeah.
And boom, it explodes, right? And so there's cereal all over the table. Pour some in the bowl. And Stanley, who's awake because he hears me up, is just standing beside me. And so I'm like giving him a little piece of cereal every third or fourth bite. He's just, nom, nom, nom. Sugar in the cereal. So he basically had a bowl of Frosted Flakes this morning with sugar, but it is not okay for your dogs. It could result in digestive issues, vomiting, and choking.
Oh.
Now, that those two, he didn't vomit or choke. I also live with digestive issues, so yeah, suck it, buddy. We both have them. That's showbiz, baby. That's what I like to say. Did you know there's a physical side when you fall in love? The effects are weight loss, lightheadedness, insomnia, queasiness, and an ability to concentrate, and cottonmouth. Are we sure that's not COVID? Did we make the story up?
You lose your smell.
Wait, what? Morgan, do you have your smell back?
No, it's still gone.
That's crazy.
Fully?
Yeah, unless something comes right up to my nose, then I can smell it.
Wow.
How long ago did you have COVID?
August of 2021.
Still no smell.
Wow.
I wonder if you'll ever get it back your whole life, and does that make you sad?
It kind of makes me sad, mostly because I really want to be able to smell myself, like if I smell bad. But everything else, no, it's great because I go out and somebody will be like, it smells terrible here. I'm like, I have no idea. That's great.
Oh.
Yeah, she got a side job at a poop factory. Doesn't bother at all. She walks around.
Yeah, she's awesome there.
Inspects, gets out of there. Most things you worry about don't end up happening. This is from an essay written by Holly Hazlitt Stevens, who's a PhD, called Women Who Worry Too Much. But it's not just about women. Research shows that 85% of the things that we stress over and that we really get bent usually doesn't end up happening, or, brace yourself, ends up having a positive or neutral outcome. So the odds are, just playing the numbers here, you're wasting your time worrying about something that will probably never happen. Things we worry about: kids, marriage, employment, money, pets, our home, vehicle, and superficial things. Well, that's everything. That's literally
What
everything.
else is there?
That's it.
Future tripping.
Mm-hmm. The things that I've been most worried about when I've been extremely stressed out, though, mostly all come true, I'll be honest with you.
Oh.
But I'm not a big stressor or worrier. I think I live under a constant level of stress, so I'm never just like, I'm so stressed. I think I just live it. So I think I'm always kind of stressed.
That's just normal for
which
you?
is when relaxing starts to happen, I feel really uncomfortable and like I'm cheating. Or like I'm doing something that's not fair.
Yeah, that's not good. You got to work on
Yeah.
that.
Well, I have been for like my whole life. It's to the point now where I'm beyond that middle point where it's like, what's the point now? I might as well just keep pushing, you know?
You're just a self-fulfilling
Yeah,
prophecy
let's
at
just
this
go.
point.
The surprising superfood that helps with confidence is a handful of almonds. Try to snack on them 10 to 15 minutes before, well, anything that's important. A big presentation, a speech, talk with the kids, having to go to parent-teacher conferences, anything where you're a little bit uncomfortable, where you're a little bit nervous. They say almonds are loaded with amino acids, and that in combination with your brain helps people come across as more confident, assertive, and convincing. It also eliminates hunger, which is what some of the chemicals are that makes you feel these ways, preventing feelings of nausea and lightheadedness. And again, we start to feel the ways of like being not confident, being non-assertive, because we may have hunger and we don't know actually how that's affecting our brain, or nausea, etc. So almonds rock. I did a campaign for pecans. I love pecans.
Yeah.
I would eat them on my Instagram until they called and they said, hey, do you like pecans? I'm like, well, yeah, I'm eating them. You're not paying me to eat them. I love them. And they're like, cool. So I went and I met with the pecan people. Really one of the most fun but random meetings ever. It was the National Pecan Council. And I'm like, I thought that you were like Willy Wonka. I didn't even know that existed like in real life. And they do, and they're very passionate about pecans, as am I. I love a pecan. I love an almond. But what I learned was how you say it really is the way I say it. It's the one thing ever. It is pecan.
Not pecan?
Not pecan, not pecan. It's pecan.
Oh.
And so luckily I said that one right, but they have to correct people because they're universal as pecan. So I just wanted to share I was right about saying something.
Hey, good job,
which
man.
I rarely am. People are like, you say this wrong. Your accent's too thick. But working with pecans is pretty cool. One of my favorite. Salt Life, the founder of Salt Life. You guys familiar with the brand?
Yeah, that's what's up, dude.
Yeah. Oh, God.
Explain to me about the brand.
Beach life, man. Salt life. It's about salt water. When you live around salt water, you live that salt life.
But you did. You grew up.
Yeah. South Texas, South Padre Island.
Where you surfed?
Surfed. Fished.
But I always laugh when you live in the city like this and people have Salt Life on their truck. I'm like, guys, you're like nowhere near the salt.
But
they
maybe
go
it's
to
like
the
their vacation
beach.
or where they came from.
Yeah.
And it's a state of mind. Like, it's always in you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No matter where you at
you hear
geographically.
him?
Yeah,
It's like a
dude.
virus.
Yeah.
Like chickenpox. Salt Life's like chickenpox. It never really leaves. Yeah. And so you're a big Salt Life guy?
Yeah, dude. Love
The
it.
brand?
Have
Yeah,
you
well, I don't
ever
wear.
seen
I
Eddie
have one T-shirt that says Salt Life.
Okay.
Salt Life founder 56 sentenced to 12 years in prison for shooting dead his teenage girlfriend.
That is not Salt Life.
No, that's not Salt Life.
Wait, hold on.
Oh yeah,
so
no,
many
this story,
things
so
here.
many things. And I don't do a lot of dead stories in the news.
Oh,
But
my.
Salt Life founder 56 was with she was 18.
Oh.
That was his girlfriend. Which already, even if you're like Salt Life founder has 18-year-old girlfriend, and we're like,
Dang.
wow,
Wow.
That's Salt Life.
that's Salt Life. And apparently he shot her, quote, during a play gunfight. Yeah.
Ugh.
I never had to play gunfight as an adult with
No,
real
me
guns.
either. What?
And then he left her body in a Florida hotel room. That doesn't sound like a play gunfight. Michael Hutto, the co-founder of Salt Life apparel brand, has pleaded guilty to manslaughter with a firearm in connection with the death of an 18-year-old at a Singer Island hotel. Has been sentenced to 12 years in prison. Was arrested in Jacksonville. This is from WPTV. He told detectives he and Duncan were headed to the Florida Keys to visit some of his friends. When they stopped at the Hilton, after spending time together, they were playing inside of the hotel room as if they were shooting with their finger and a gun. Hutto told detectives that Duncan was sitting on the counter in the bathroom when he pointed the gun at her and it fired, shooting her. Listen, it could have happened, but I don't think you play. Do you play gunfight and point? Anybody that's ever had a gun? I have guns. I've always had guns my whole life. I have never, not one time, not even when I was 8 and got a 410, like a shotgun. I've never once pointed it at somebody in a joke because you were just taught. Now, maybe he is so uninformed, and this is what makes gun owners look bad. Idiots like this.
Yeah.
But still play gunfight, and then you also have an 18-year-old girlfriend when you're 56. There's a lot of things that make me go, he just didn't make good decisions.
And also, he only got 12 years.
Well,
Yeah,
because of
manslaughter.
manslaughter. He pleaded guilty to manslaughter.
Okay, well, I don't know.
If the story's true,
And
it's
his
an
lawyers
accident.
may have said, hey, I'm complete speculation on my part. The lawyers could have said, hey, we'll say it was a play gunfight, and maybe we can plead down.
Oh my
Right, because it's literally them two in the hotel room, so there's no one else there. She's dead, so how do they know?
Hutto told detectives that story about the bathroom. Hutto said he then put the gun in his backpack and left the room, driving until he ran out of gas.
Oh, no.
So it sounds like he was going on the run. Because
That's
otherwise, why would you not
suspicious.
keep filling up with gas with a credit card, except they can track your credit card and see where you are? Duncan's father told police that Hutto, who was her boyfriend, had been giving her drugs to keep her sedated. And they also could have been, again, complete speculation, but as a story kind of, the onion peels, you're like, well, if he's giving her drugs to keep her sedated, again, that ain't good. But two, was he taking drugs also?
Yeah.
Possibly,
Yeah.
probably. All speculation here. And then you make bad decisions sometimes. I've heard.
Yeah.
What a wacky story.
It's a weird one, huh? And a sad one. It's from WPTV. Thank you very much. I mean, I have another one that's like, I'm going to hold this one off because there's another one that might be a little crazier, but it's a death, a killing. We'll see how I feel in a second.
Okay.
The big debate of the day, pickles on pizza.
Yes.
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 Interesting. I like pizza and I like pickles. When I first read it, I go, well, that don't go. But it probably would be pretty good.
Let me tell you, we order a Nashville hot chicken pizza, and it's delicious. It's spicy chicken with pickles with ranch dressing. And it's so good, Bones. You'd love it.
Yeah, I don't want to say it would be disgusting without trying it. But it sounds gross when you first read
On the
pickles on
surface.
pizza. Yeah. Pickles are most served on pizza with garlic sauce. That's from NPR.org. You ever had it, pickle pizza?
I don't like pickles.
You ever had pizza pickles?
Yeah, it's good.
Pizza pickle, and you have
Yeah, it's so good, dude.
a California man earns a world record for 2,995 consecutive Disneyland visits.
Oh, man.
That guy, Jimmy Allen, country singer. No, he goes a lot, but no.
does.
Like
he
there's
loves
been
it.
like that many days
Yes,
in a row.
a California man. They would see him come and be like, great, here's Greg again. I don't know. His name is Jeff. A California man who visited the Disneyland theme park for 2,995 consecutive days was rewarded with a Guinness World Record certificate. Does he not have a job?
Yeah, what does he do?
And that's not cheap.
He probably has a season
Unless he
pass.
has.
I'm sure he has a pass.
Okay.
He's an older guy. He's 64 in one of these pictures he took, but 3,000 days is roughly 9-10 years.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Does he have friends?
They
Yeah,
all work at the
Mickey,
park. And
Minnie.
the statues of Walt Disney.
Mickey, Minnie.
Cinderella.
He chronicled his Disney trips on social media. What I think happens with these stories is he does this. He did his 60th consecutive trip. And people should be like, wow, that's crazy. So it became his identity. So,
Oh, my
and he's
goodness.
getting like affirmation, love, and he's like, I'm just going to keep going because I'm that guy now. So that's from UPI. But he's been there 2,995 consecutive days.
Wow.
Good for him.
No, not good for
Yes.
him. I'm
You know
worried
what?
for
If
him.
that's what he's
Yeah.
doing and he's retired and he's not hurt, great. He could be doing other stuff. He could be living salt life.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, good
You know?
Oh,
point.
good.
Recall alert, 140,000 M-Famil Pro Sobe baby formula cans recalled over contamination concerns. Now, I'm not familiar with the brand because I don't have a baby.
I think it's Infamil.
Infamil.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
Infamil Pro Sobe.
Okay, you got it wrong again.
Okay, what's that?
Infamil. There you
Infamil
go.
Pro Sobe. Is it Pro Sobe?
That part I don't know.
Okay, wise guy. You know the first part, but you're going to...
Well, the first part's the brand.
Yeah.
Yeah. They say, hey, bad news. We got a possibility of cross-contamination with some crazy Chronobacter Sakazaki,
Oh no.
That's
according
not
to
good.
the U.S. Food and Drug Administration. So just a heads up, that's from Cairo 7. Look for Infamil
You got it.
Good job.
Pro Sobe baby formula cans. A Pennsylvania high school student is arrested after airdropping a bomb threat during an American Airlines flight.
Oh.
In high school, you should be smart enough not to do this. This is dumb. This is just dumb because I don't think they were going to bomb the plane. This is dumb. It's not a joke. It's a joke. That best case scenario is just mildly, barely scratching the surface funny. Only if you send it to a friend and still you're like, ew, I don't want to put this on my phone. That's best case scenario. Worst case scenario is this. A high school student was arrested after sending a bomb threat on an American Airlines flight through Apple's AirDrop technology. His threat forced the plane to return to the gate.
Well, yeah.
They had to search the plane. They detained the group of students during their planned humanitarian trip.
Humanitarian.
Oh no.
They were attacked. Yeah. The potential bomb threat made everybody get off. They had the Joint Terrorism Task Force get on, search the plane.
Guys.
They're in custody. It doesn't say if they sent it to one or everybody, but even one is too many.
Wow.
It's just, I like pranks.
Not bomb threats.
But best case scenario, this isn't that good.
Yeah, I don't want to.
The risk and the reward are not. Just
Ever airdrop
Do
to
that thing
me.
with your hands where you like weigh it.
Yeah.
It don't weigh good.
Things you don't airdrop. Pictures of your body.
Well, no, I do that. Yeah. I send it to everybody who's on.
and
That's from Fox News. Thank you. That's the news.
Those were Bobby's Big
Stories.
A little bit of drama last night at the Raging Idiots $1 Million Show. Also, what a big show it was. Special guests, a couple stories that I read and was kind of irritated because some of you guys had sent me some stuff from the show. I was like, oh, that happened? Good thing I didn't know that. Well, we'll get to all of it in the next segment. Bobby Bone Show. So apparently there was drama last night where a lot of the show members went to the show that Eddie and I did at the Ryman last night. And I didn't know who was there or not. I was running, as I said, with like a chicken with my head cut off all day, from the radio show to rehearsals to the show to doing press and promos because we shot as a TV special. I know anything was happening. Thank you for keeping that from me. But Scuba, was it you who was telling me that Lunchbox was demanding backstage passes?
Yes, and I don't know if you want me to say the reason why, but he's like, I need to be in the back.
No, say the reason why.
Because I don't want to be around all the listeners and then bother me for photos and hanging out. So I got to be away from them. Put me in the back, please.
Sounds about right.
I'm going to let you respond to that.
Yeah, 100% accurate, because if you do go out front, like which I did a couple times.
I saw a video of you out front just singing along.
And guess what happens? You get mugged. And I'm like, listen, guys, I'm trying to enjoy the show, and I don't
But you can't really enjoy it from the back. You can't hear anything, really.
Well, you can't enjoy it in the front because, I mean, you can't even watch it because I went out there for like 2 minutes.
You were singing as loud as you could right in the middle of people. And you're like, with arms wide open, whatever you were singing. It was like, of course that's you.
And everyone else is enjoying the show. I don't think they're worried about you.
Yeah, they were. I mean, they were all just jumping up. And I mean, I'm sitting there trying to watch the show, and people are turning around filming me watching the show.
Okay,
and
but that's right. Okay, that's
what
also,
I'm saying. So that's why I need a backstage pass. I couldn't. I was like, this is.
I thought you liked to be noticed and recorded.
No, I do. But I mean, it was over. I mean, how many 10,000 people there? And I was going to say hi to all 10,000. Like one time I tried to go to the bathroom because we got locked out of the back. And I mean, it took me 30 minutes to get to the bathroom because people kept wanting to take pictures. I was like, guys, I'm about to pee my pants.
Sounds like your dream.
Not peeing my pants right there. And so, yes, it was.
So you demanded backstage passes.
Demanded backstage passes. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I didn't know if it was true.
I mean, how awkward would it look if I had to walk in the front door like with a ticket?
I mean,
not
like
awkward
everyone
at
else?
all. You mean like everybody else?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
So is it about the listeners or about walking through the front door?
But I'm saying it's like it looks bad
Mm-hmm.
if I'm walking with a regular ticket. Hey, aren't you? No, I can't. I don't have a backstage pass. How embarrassing, huh? Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so we got through that.
Yeah, so I don't think that's that big a deal. No big deal.
Lunchbox showed up and he just had his phone out. He was recording everything as he walked through, like recording other famous people back there. And I'm like,
oh no.
maybe back here we don't do that. But then I realized he's complaining of people doing that to him.
Mm-hmm.
You were doing to them what you didn't like done to you.
No, I was giving a behind the scenes look. I'm also like a reporter.
But you're not. We didn't ask you to do that. Maybe they were going, I'm a reporter for the B team.
And I was giving people what it's like backstage at this event, the $1 Million Show.
I'm just saying it was hypocritical of you.
Well, I didn't tell people to stop filming me. I just went back in the back. It's like, all right.
Well, they
those
also didn't
people
tell
can't
you.
leave.
Well, they can go in their dressing room.
The dressing rooms are upstairs.
Yeah, that was weird. I mean, I went upstairs to a couple dressing rooms. It was a little weird.
Why'd you go into a couple dressing rooms?
I'm just looking around. I'd never been up there to
Browsing?
see. Like, I didn't realize there was that many dressing rooms. I only knew there was that first floor, and then I saw people going up the stairs. And I was like, "What's up here?" So I went up there and saw dressing rooms. Like I saw Scott Stapp's dressing room. I saw like.
Did you go in them?
Yeah.
No, they weren't there. You're not
no.
supposed to walk into people's dressing rooms.
No, Scott Stapp was in there.
Okay.
Even
I don't know if
worse.
that's worse.
Okay, so Scott Stapp is the lead singer of Creed, who we did some Creed songs last night. That place erupted. It was awesome. So he did Higher. And I asked Scott, I said, hey, we're doing this show at the Ryman, my band, The Raging Idiots, and it's for St. Jude. And he was like, yeah, I'm in. It's all done. I was like, really? He's like, I'm in immediately. And we did an hour-long podcast together, and we kind of got to know each other there. But it's like Creed. Like, I bought concert tickets to go watch Creed. And they came, and at rehearsal, he came in. And if you've never worked with anybody, and they were so successful, you're like, what is this guy going to be like professionally? Walked in, talked with every member of the band, like, stood around, just chilled, sang the songs. We were all like, oh my goodness, he's awesome. He still had, it was just so good. Last night it was so good. I think it was a surprise. I think people were like, oh yeah, Creed. Oh man, Creed. It was that kind of moment.
It was the eruption after he was done, I think, was one of the biggest.
They gave him a standing ovation.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't sit down. And then he was like, do I do another one? But we didn't practice another one. And I was like, no, you're good, man. You're good.
And that was his first time to play the Ryman, right? Didn't he say that?
And it was his first time to play in like a year period. He's like, I haven't performed at all. It was amazing. It was amazing. Michelle Branch is so good. You know, they were in earlier.
I saw their dressing room.
Okay, but
Okay.
they were in earlier, but we actually recorded that yesterday before the show because I don't want them to have to wake up and come up here. But Michelle Branch sounded so good. Like
so good.
Just like the record. And then the Wreckers came out, Jessica came out, and they performed 2 songs together. And it was just super cool because they hadn't performed together in 10 years. Not like that. First time they ever reunited. She said it here. She was like, we got back together because you asked us to do this for St. Jude. That's super cool.
Yeah.
Dina Carter did Strawberry Wine, and the place, she didn't even need to hit a note on her guitar.
So good.
Everybody just would have sang the whole thing, and she's just the nicest. Another one of the surprise guests who we had close the show was Jake Owen, who easy ask for me. He's one of my best friends. And I didn't tell him he was doing 3 songs until he got there. And then he was like, I guess I'm doing 3 songs. And we did Down to the Honky Tonk, and then we did his Up There, Down Here, his current single. And then at the end, we did Barefoot Blue Jean Night. And again, same type of situation. Everybody was just going nuts. What was funny was he was telling a story because his daughter, Pearl, was with him. I think Pearl's 10. And some guy went up to Pearl and was like, hey, I've known your dad since he was playing Barefoot Blue Jean. And Pearl goes, well, he still plays it.
Still does that.
He still does that song. So that's pretty funny. But we raised a bunch of money. I mean, it was incredible. There are so many great moments. I mean, Madeline Edwards and Dave's Highway, 2 new artists, came out again and just legs swept everybody. Because, you know, we had all this stuff happening, and I also like to introduce new artists during the show. And so people are like, okay, we had a couple of new artists, Parker McCollum, and then they're like, okay, new artists. Maybe we go get a beer or something. And all of a sudden they start singing like, oh, whoa, get back to your seat.
Yeah.
I had friends who were like, hey, what's that new group again? Or what was her name, Madeline Edwards? So just a great night. What?
I had a lot of fun, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for
I'm glad
having
you
us.
did.
Well, those two, so Madeline and Dave's, those, when they were performing, not only were they amazing and totally killed it, but backstage, they also had so much gratitude for you inviting them to be a part of it. Like, they couldn't stop talking about how...
That's in the contract. If you guys are back there,
They had to
you
do
must
that.
talk about me the whole time.
I mean, but I just thought that was cool to see too, like just their excitement, and they were so thankful instead of being, you know, you never know how some newer artists are going to be, and they just couldn't have been more thankful.
I'm not sure what their record label status is, meaning if they even have a deal. I mean, them or Madeline. And I was talking to them after. I was like, it just takes one person who's halfway smart to realize, especially them, because Madeline was early, so she wasn't around way after the show. We were packing up. But they were, because they played later. And I was like, it takes one person to see a brother and 2 sisters who sound like this. And you're good. You're absolutely good enough. You're better than a lot of folks that come in here that are supposed to be the best. It just takes one smart person to go, oh, there's a niche for a good group that's brother and sister, not just people put together. And because they're grinding, they're working real jobs every day, like normal person jobs. And like, I admire that. Like, we're not stopping, but we also got to pay the bills. So it's cool. It was really cool. And I didn't know that last night was going to be where it would eclipse $20 million raised for St. Jude through either the Radiothon or these live shows or specific one-offs that we do. But over the past almost 10 years, it's been $20 million. And Jake came out and presented me with a big award, and that's always awkward because I don't like surprises are tough.
Oh, you had no idea that was happening? Okay.
And it was on TV, but then I didn't know how to. I was just like, how do I do my face? How do I do my face? Like, I don't want to act like, because it's very important, but if you're like, oh yeah, this is, I don't know, there was just a fine line. And I was like, how do I do my face? I don't want to look like sad, but I also want to be happy. So
No, you did great.
we'll have to see how that goes in the edit.
You did great because I didn't notice any awkwardness when you got there.
It felt awkward because I was like, oh no. I don't like people talking bad about me or people talking good about me.
That's tough. Then they can't win.
I don't like
Don't
people.
touch neutral.
That's right. I'm a control freak because I never had control. So when people are like, he's not good, I'm like, oh, shut up. They're like, he's good. Oh, shut up. I'll be the only person. I'll say all the bad stuff about me, and I'll say all the good stuff about me. That's kind of how I've lived because I like to have the control. Not the healthiest, but it was just a great night. And I took and gave a bunch of friends, 5 pair, I think, of tickets that were mine. And so I gave them to different friends. And a couple of them texted me before the show. But they're like, we're here because traffic was terrible. We made it. And they were sitting on like the nosebleeds. And I was like, I don't even have good tickets to give my friends.
Oh, no.
Apparently every seat was good, they say.
Yeah, that's what they say about the Ryman.
But I like saw a bird land next to one of them in a picture.
They're so high up there.
I was like, dang, we can't even get like good tickets for my buddies. So a great show. Just maybe my favorite ever. I will shout out Dirk Bentley too, because Tracy Lawrence got sick, had bronchitis, could not come and sing. And I told Dirks, and he was like, well, what songs? And I said, well, one of them was, you find out who your friends are here. He goes, I know that. But Dirks has an album coming out this week. He's going to be on the show Friday. And I know he's going to New York to do Jimmy Fallon and I was like, can you do it? He's like, yeah, I'll drive over. And so he came out and did a Tracy Lawrence, that
Amazing.
song. and then did one of his own. Just 2-hour notice.
Yeah, it's awesome.
So you know what I found out?
Huh.
Who my friends were.
Ah,
I found out
yeah, you
who my
did.
friends were. So it was a great night. I'm so tired. I probably slept an hour and a half.
Oh,
Not purposefully. I got home, and it's 11:15 or so.
Oh, it was late.
Because the show didn't end until 10:20. So I got home 11:15, 11:20. Maybe a little later because I stayed, took a bunch of pictures with listeners. I don't mind that lunchbox. I don't mind going out and
yeah, all
doing
right.
stuff. And then Caitlin and I were starving, so we ordered a pizza.
Oh, my goodness.
Y'all went hard.
We did. And we ordered it like 11:35 or so, and it said pizza will be here between like 11:55 and 12. I guess not a lot of orders, so you could grab it. It was midnight. I'm still working on today's show, and the pizza still isn't there. And she's like, I'm tired. I have to go to bed. But there's no food. So she goes quickly and makes us both like a little healthy nacho thing, like Siete chips, like beef and whatever. She's like, eat this, and if pizza doesn't come. Well, pizza got there like 12:50.
So did you eat that too?
No, it's too late. So I finally fell asleep about 1:15 or so, and then woke up about 3:30.
Oh,
Yeah,
well,
not a
I
lot
took
of
a nap.
sleep.
Okay.
It felt like a nap.
That is a nap. That is
That is
not
literally
a
a
night's
nap.
sleep.
Yes, but it wasn't because that was unhealthy. We just had a late show,
Yeah.
and then I had to stay up and work on this show.
And you had to wait
Not
for
in a
the
bad way.
pizza.
I'm lucky enough that I get to do that. But our boss was there last night, Rod, and he was like, you shouldn't work on the show tonight. I was like, that's easy for you to say. You don't have to do it.
You want to do it?
I'm going to get here and just sit on my thumb all morning? What do you want from me?
You know how you could have got home earlier? Is if you didn't take all those pictures. Snuck
Good.
out the back.
That's a good point. That's a good
Yep.
point. All right, we'll come back. Hold on a minute. I got a few stories here. This is the one I didn't do during the news. I just needed a palate cleanser in between because it's a bizarre story. These catfishing stories, it almost doesn't matter, even if it's just somebody catfishing. But then when it ends up in, have you seen it?
This one is
Yeah.
the craziest
It's the craziest
catfishing of all time.
An Alaska woman, 22, pleads guilty to killing her best friend, who's 19, with the help of 3 others after being catfished by a man online who promised to pay her $9 million if she sent photos of the killing.
What?
Oh my goodness.
A 22-year-old woman has pleaded guilty to murdering her best friend after a man said, $9 million, you do it, you give me the killing. She admitted in an Anchorage, Alaska courtroom on Wednesday to the first-degree murder of Cynthia C.C. Hoffman. Hoffman was found dead with a gunshot wound to the back of her head, and a lot more stuff here that I'm not going to get into details. On a hiking trail, prosecutors claimed that whoever was 18 at the time was catfished by a millionaire named Tyler. Police later revealed the catfish to be Darren Schillmiller, then 21, and that's what happened. She thought she was going to get $9 million.
Oh my goodness.
Lunchbox, what else do you know about that?
That's all I know. I don't remember what the reasoning was. I don't understand why he catfished to get her killed. Like, I
Yeah.
don't, that's where
Like what the link was?
Yes.
Or maybe there wasn't a link. We just wanted to see if he shoot it to anybody.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Maybe that.
Because he wanted the video.
Or it was just like, can I?
A game.
Maybe he never thought it would be real.
What
Yeah.
on earth?
I don't know because the story is like 7 or 8 lines because it just happened. But
But
that is the
how
bizarrest catfishing story I've
wild.
ever heard. Yeah.
That you come up with this idea that, hey, I'm going to go after this girl and I'm going to get to, start messing with her mind and say, you know what? If you kill someone, you get $9 million. It's like, what will you do for money? It's like a real life Saw.
That's from the Daily Mail. He's over there itching with stories. What's your other one you have?
Oh, yeah. Savannah Chrisley revealed on her podcast, Unlocked, that the Chrisleys will be doing a new reality show that many production companies have been reaching out. They are trying to just figure out.
up, Chrisley.
Is it in the prison or about them?
No, about
Outside
them
the prison.
outside the
Got it.
prison.
Okay, because you
Oh,
can't make
okay.
money as in prison.
Yeah, or else Tiger King would be doing that.
Yeah, they can't make money while doing that. Yeah, I mean, they got to pay the bills. They grew up rich kids.
Yeah, she
that
is.
didn't have to work, and now they have to work because all that money they supposedly had was stolen.
Yeah, Nanny Faye, one of the names she has recommended is Bounce Back Chrisleys.
It's not a show yet.
Not,
I
but-
don't understand why they're trying to get sympathy. I mean,
But-
look, it would be like somebody who murdered somebody, or somebody who robbed a bank, or somebody who, any crime at all, being found guilty and going, well, you can't really say I'm guilty yet because 5% of people are found that when they're not guilty, they get called. It's like, no. Once you're guilty, we get to say you're guilty. That's it. We didn't until then. But both of the parents went to jail for it. It's not like one of them got unlucky in a 5% deal. And I'll say it again. When they say 5% of these convictions, do you know who that is for the most part? It's people that have a bias against them because they're of color or minority, or people that don't have the money. Not rich white people. Honest to God. Most of that 5%, not rich white people. Because they have resources. I kind of hate they're getting a show. It's kind of bullcrap because they're only getting the show now because the parents are in prison. And if the parents are ever found on appeal that didn't happen or whatever, I'll come here and be like, hey, look, I was wrong about that because, well, the courts told me I was wrong. And then I'll sue the courts.
I don't think you can do that.
Oh, I can't sue the courts?
I don't know.
But it's kind of bullcrap. It is. Why we have sympathy, I don't know. They said guilty, both of them. And 5%, let's cut it in half, then it's 2.5% if both of them got found guilty on separate trials, right? Like separate cases because they're doing different amounts of time, different charges.
Yeah, she got convicted of some of the charges didn't stick
Right,
against
so
her.
it wasn't like they're both universal sitting up there on the same stand getting the same. So they had to be looked at differently because there are some charges for him that she didn't get.
Yeah.
And secondly, you should let Lunchbox come and visit you. We sent a letter to the prison.
I said
Oh,
it
yeah.
twice.
Have you heard back?
Yeah.
Nothing?
No.
Oh.
So, whatever. I'll move on. It just fires me up because you can't use the 5% of you can't when you're a rich white person with resources and fame. Those are the people who get off even when they do it. We've seen it. All right, I'm good. I didn't know they were launching a show. Get me triggered, man.
Yeah. So you gonna watch?
Yeah, what channel?
Yeah.
And then I saw that Morgan Evans put out a statement yesterday. And so Morgan Evans and Kelsey Ballerini, they got a divorce. Is it fine? It's fine.
done.
It's finalized, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he wrote this because he's been getting crushed. And I'll give you my version of it as well. But he wrote this yesterday. It's really sad for me to see this person who I spent so much of my life with and loved with all my heart saying things that aren't reality and leave out what really happened. She knows I'm not the type of guy to speak on those things publicly. If this is what she needs to heal, I hope it helps. All I ask is that if you're on my pages, please don't be mean. Don't be mean to Kelsey. Don't be mean to each other. Life's too short. The end. With something like this, there's 3 sides to the story, always. And this is a really sensitive thing for me to talk about because I have known them both closely for a long time. And so when Morgan had his song, it was a literal radio single. It's the song they were putting out. And so with that, we communicate with a label. I never ask personally my friends to come on the show because I feel like I don't want to be in that relationship. But if they have a single and they reach out and it's like, oh, cool, they want to come on? Cool. New radio single, he came in. Also, I love Morgan. Like, he's the best dude. And so with those two, it was also a relationship where we would purposefully seek out time, going to dinner, going to brunch. We both were on the road so much. It was a relationship where all 3 of us, we'd be like, we have got to get together. It's one of those friendships where we haven't seen each other in a couple of months. Holy crap. Let's go to brunch. Let's go eat dinner. Let's do something. So when the whole thing happens, and listen, I knew it was happening before it was out because, that being said, Kelsey hasn't, reached out in a long time. So I haven't talked to her in a while. But I hate it for them, for both of them. And it's very sensitive. And I get beat up because I had Morgan on this show. And Morgan played the $1 Million Show last night. And they're like, well, why don't you have Kelsey on? Because she put out an EP. Kelsey hasn't contacted us for any reason whatsoever. Not once. Kelsey hasn't texted me in months. But if she still needed somewhere to stay or a kidney, I'd be right there. Because we grew quite close. And even though we don't hang out a whole lot now, that doesn't mean we're not close friends. I don't think you have to hang out every day to be close friends. But it is a very sensitive situation to me. And I'm going to support any of them. And so there's just 3 sides to the story, always. There's hers, there's his, and there's the real one. And I'll say this, and I want to say this as generically as possible. I hope it ends. I hope they stop. She's going pretty hard right now. She did a whole pod. Sure, it's her right. She can do it. And I hope he stops. It's just, there are people in this town that know where the bodies are buried. There are so many receipts. There are receipts. There are hardcore receipts that would, I'm not going to say end a career, but would definitely slow a career or 2. And I'm afraid if this keeps happening and there's pew, 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 pew back and forth, that's what you're going to see. And I don't want it to happen. Heck, I got some of the receipts. I don't want that to happen. So I know this is going to get out on the internet. People are going to be like, oh, you're pro Kelsey, you're pro more. Nope, I'm not pro anything except I hate it for both my friends. And I hate it for anybody that has to go through this, but publicly. And I know Morgan, he doesn't want to talk about this publicly. So it sucks. It sucks for them. On a much, much, much lower level, it sucks for me because you don't want to see your friends go through it. And I'm getting annihilated in my DMs. And it's weird because this is not a controversy I wanted. I just happen to be friends with them both. But I hope to God it stops. Because if it doesn't, it's going to get real bad. And that's all, and I'm not pointing that in any direction, but it's going to get you know when you go to CVS and they print out that really long receipt and you're like,
oh, yeah.
You're like, I got 1 tube of toothpaste. This thing's 11 feet long.
You got the rebate on the bottom?
Yeah, it's that.
Yeah.
It's that. That's the receipt. It's a CVS receipt. And they ain't out, and I hope they never come out. But I'm just begging. Stop talking about it. Talk about it through your music. That's fine. Because then you can always go, it's a song. So that's it. That's my statement. Leave me alone. That's it. And let them live. Anything about that? We good?
Oh, yeah.
I think it's hard anytime there's 2 people going through something as heavy as that, and then certain things are being said that maybe could remain private and let.
I hear you, Ray. Ray says we got to wrap. We're out of time.
Oh.
Ray just yelled rap in my ear. Did you guys hear that?
Oh.
No.
All right.
We don't hear him.
All right, Ray, rap. Go ahead.